Okay. Secret sauce of Facebook, guys. I'm going to get right into it.
The secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
You're going to spill all the beans today?
I'm going to spill the beans.
All right, spill the beans, guys.
The Bush's baked beans recipe.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right. So the secret sauce of Facebook, guys, I just want to get into some marketing concepts. So if I nerd out a little bit, just, rein me back in. Okay. We'll try to pull the chat up here in a minute. Johnny's going to be on the chat over there on the Zoom. So he'll be monitoring some stuff, and hopefully we can shed some light on how to get started in Facebook, maybe how to rectify some of the issues you found yourself in.
I think Will's going to be on there too.
Perfect. Will be on there. So any questions you have, please throw them up. Keep the chat alive. You can go into the Q&A segment as well. And don't forget to take our poll. So secret sauce of Facebook. Let's boom. Okay. Step one. What's that? Yeah, it wouldn't work. So I was clicking. Step one, identify prospect avatar. So some of the stuff I'm going to go over, man, like if you think like I'm going to pull up the technical stuff, we'll get into the technical stuff later, but there's some things you have to understand. If I just show you some technical, funky mumbo jumbo, and you hop in and try to do that, and then it doesn't work, you're not going to have the knowledge base or the resolve or the macroeconomic view of marketing to see it through and test things and figure it out. So
absolutely.
Step one, you got to identify.
And this is very important because you have to know your target market. And we would think that was real easy to figure out, right? We're all targeting seniors, but you have to get more specific than that. So we're going to,
Perfect. We're going to identify the prospect avatar. A, who do I want to target? B, how do they think? C, what is their value to my business? Okay. And to kind of help simplify this, you can look at, and this is kind of our Medicare marketing, macro guide. Okay. And we break it down by income and geography is the easiest way to target for us. Before you throw in how do you target income in Facebook, don't say that. Like that's goofy. What I'm saying is, know these target markets. Don't worry about the application to them in Facebook targeting apparatus, but low income rural, low income urban, high income. Let me move this little video. High income urban, right? When we're looking at middle income urban, middle income rural, and high income rural. When we kind of break these down, this MSMA is basically what is, and look, I get that there's rules and exceptions. There's going to be some of the lowest income urban people that are going to buy a med sup. But we don't market for the exception to the rule. We market for the rule. If you market for the exception, you will go broke because you're looking for a needle in a haystack. When you're looking at this stuff, look at, who is going to buy what? Do I want to sell Medicare Advantage and Med Sups? Do I want to target Med Sup? Do I want to target Medicare Advantage? And this same kind of stuff can be applied to ACA, short-term medical. It can be applied to life insurance and annuities as well. But this is right here, we're talking Medicare, right? So Medicare, so if I'm low income rural, I'm Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage. So I'm low income urban, I'm Medicare Advantage specifically. If I'm high income urban, I'm Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage. If I'm high income rural, I'm Medicare Supplement. Most people with stance like solid incomes in rural areas are buying Med Sups. But the same income person in a metro area is likely to consider either one because the network solvency, that kind of stuff, right? So we know that, right? Seems obvious. But if you go down the list here, you can also look at the intent level of these people. So the highest income people are going to have the lowest likelihood to convert through Facebook advertising. And so like I say here in high income rural, is triple retargeting, right? So we start talking about multiple funnels we want to get people in. Low income urban, we're talking low intent, low income rural, mixed intent, middle income. Look at these. Highest lifetime value is right here in this middle income range, right? The highest intent. You have to build trust in this group, but it's a high intent lead when you get it. And they don't respond to free jargon as much. So these people are throwing free. They're not getting as many middle income prospects in there. Middle income people and high income people are not responding to that nearly as much. Again, rule and exception. I always say that kind of stuff because, well, what about this guy one time I wrote? He was really rich and he wanted a Medicare Advantage plan. He wanted to be free. Okay, I'm not talking about that guy. That guy's an anomaly. Okay. I'm talking about the average middle class people, the average high income people. And then if we get down into my low income, low urban, who are those people on average, right? And a lot of that's going to depend on where they live. If you look at some of these other ones, lowest LTV is going to be in this middle income urban and the low income urban categories. Lowest lifetime value is going to be in some of those areas, right? A lot of that's based on the fact that they're going to get churned a lot. You're not going to keep a client as long. Typically, again, you can keep them by extreme service work. But if you've built a practice to scale, you know, the client that requires the least amount of service work is going to be your favorite client eventually, because you're not having to spend so much money to keep them, so much time to keep them. Because once you got 500 clients or 1,000 clients, you can't spend all your time writing handwritten notes anymore. Okay. When you look at your highest cost per lead is going to be in your high income areas, and you're going to have moderate LTV. What did I say my highest lifetime value is? Middle income rural, low income rural. In my opinion, highest lifetime value is going to be in those areas, because those people are not going to they're not going to shop you quite as much as some of these other areas. And a lot of that's due to the way they're marketed to. A lot of it's due to their perception of marketing and their expectation of what they should pay, all kinds of stuff like that. So by understanding my prospect avatars, I can try to hone in via different marketing practices. Okay. Now, when you're marketing, you need to market like you're going to be in business forever. Lead development is not always marketing. Sometimes lead development is just trying to grab this little piece of the pie chart. You see this sliver right here?
We couldn't fit it in there, but that's 3%.
That's 3%, right? I told Jacob, I said, don't worry, we can't fit 3% in there. It's so small, but it's going to be a perceived 3%, because 50 plus 25 plus 22 leaves 3%, right?
Yep. And so let's break this chart down. All right. So this chart here is the leads that we're acquiring and where they're at in the buying process, right? So if we take that little slither we were just talking about, the 3% of the people, 3% of the leads that you are developing and generating right now are actually ready to buy right now, right? The ones that aren't ready to buy right now, there's 22% of them that are going to be ready to buy in the next 0 to 3 months. So that 22% is 0 to 3 months out. 25% is 3 to 6 months out. And then 50% of your leads that you're generating or clients that you're talking to right now are not going to be ready to buy until 6 to 12 months out. So 50%. So we talk about stuffing your pipeline a lot, right? You're stuffing your pipeline, because if you're only trying to target the people that are ready to buy right now, you're only targeting 3% of the people that are in your target market. So you have to act like you're going to keep these people, you know, in the pipeline for at least 1 year, and then you're going to keep them on the books forever. So don't market to just the 3%, market to everybody that's going to be ready in the next 12 months, because 3% is ready right now, 22% in the next 0 to 3 months, 25% in the next 3 to 6 months, and 6 to 12 is 50% of the leads that you're coming across will be ready to buy in the next 6 to 12 months.
And why will they be ready to buy? Because you're going to move them towards a buying decision.
Yes, we're gonna work them towards that 3% as fast as possible, right? And so how are we going to do that? We're going to nurture these leads.
Yep. We're going to nurture them by marketing. Okay. So think about this. I want to just drive it home again. 3% of people in the market will buy from you today. That's macroeconomic marketing data across all industries. Okay. It may be lower, it may be slightly higher, but basically go off of the 3% rule. 3% of the people out there that you could possibly reach, not necessarily 3% of the people that are seeing you, but 3% of the people are ready to buy something, or will make a decision. The funny thing is, the people that live in this 50% and this 25% realm are much better clients a lot of times, because they'll stay with you longer and their buying threshold is higher. It takes them more time to make a decision. I used to talk to call center guys that would say when they got on the phone with somebody that was ready to buy right away, it scared them, because they're used to having to negotiate and try to encourage them and build trust and all that. And that person that makes you earn it a little bit stays with you longer, because they're going to make the next guy earn it. And that guy might not be as good as you, or that girl might not be as good as you. So that's important. So let's go to the next slide. All right. Okay. So we're looking at the traditional sales funnel. Surely so many of you have seen what a sales funnel looks like. I draw it like this rather than being a little drip at the bottom, because I want to, again, fixate on the awareness phase. So some people focus on marketing directly to the conversion, but the conversion phase is the 3%. Maybe it's the bottom half of that next 22%. If you're able to market to the awareness and the consideration phases, then you're able to constantly create this stream of people that when you turn it off, they're already in your hopper ready to go, right? You have this massive pipeline. We don't want the pipeline to be this short. We want the pipeline to be endless, right? As long as possible. Okay. So think about a sales funnel when you're deciding how to do Facebook, even Facebook. We're talking about Facebook today, but you can look at this from any marketing, perspective. All right. So macroeconomic marketing, I've used that word a lot. How do I categorize my ideal prospects as I scale from one target? So as you grow, you're probably not just having one target. You might have ACA, you might have MedSup, you might be going after Medicare Advantage. You might eventually be trying to turn that into life and annuity volume, whatever you're doing, right? So tier 1 is my lower perceived value and shorter marketing cycle. Tier 2, I'm categorizing as my mid-range value, mid-range marketing cycle. Tier 3 is my high perceived value and long marketing cycle. I think everyone would agree that you're willing to market to someone longer if you're going to get a whole lot more pie at the end, right? Like I'm willing to wait for dinner a little bit longer if it's going to be way better, right? But lower perceived value is a shorter marketing cycle. So I tell you this because when we pop over here to this big marketing flow chart, this is not just a Facebook flow chart, but this is a marketing in general flow chart. So this is called the unstoppable marketing automation, right? So once we get a lead, what do you do with it? And you can see here, tier 1 lead, 30-day blitz. Tier 2 lead 30-day blitz, tier 3 lead 30-day blitz. You can see how much more automation is going into them. Of course, we get over here into a nurture weekly campaign as well. And that's where they drip when they fall out of this primary course. But in tier 1s, we're doing first impression video, SMS, doing email marketing. You're doing a why me video. You're doing a review reel. These are things that are all designed to drip on them and try to get them to schedule a call with you. In a tier 2, we're actually working direct mail into the cycle, right? You can see that. And then tier 3, you're looking at an entirely a whole nother level, right? I'm duplicating multiple concepts at once, right? I'm emailing, I'm sending a whole lot more. And then I get them all into the same long-term funnel. I'm showing you this because, and this doesn't have to be the same for everybody, but it should show you that depending on where a lead comes from, you market to them slightly different. Okay. And if the tier 1, 2, and 3, if there's a huge disparity, like if it's the lowest quality lead you can think of out there, I try to avoid those completely. I might not even be doing this. It might just be a simple text message, simple text followed by you didn't answer for a bit of simple text. A lot of that is actually what's working on the lowest quality lead flow, which we do turn on sometimes, because sometimes when you're trying to create more volume of high intent traffic and high quality lead flow, you still got to feed people while you're increasing that and grabbing that awareness and consideration phase marketing. But the goal of all this, as you can see, is to get them back to a woo call, because the sales are made when you're wooing them over on a call. The marketing is all about getting them on the phone, but to want to be on the phone, not to just pick up a cold call. That's not part of a marketing funnel. We're not ever telling anybody to cold call. Campaign design. When I'm looking at Facebook advertising is all about building long-term audiences. If you think you're just grabbing leads out of thin air, you can do that, but you're going to grab more of them. We want higher intent, shorter automation phase to get them on the phone with an intention of doing business with us, because those people stay on the books longer, right? So I'm always telling people that, but you can do it a little bit of both. It's like a slinky effect. I'm trying to grow this side where I'm bringing in the highest value traffic, and every now and then I pop up a little bit of my low income, my lowest quality traffic to subsidize my sales funnel, which is a different funnel, a marketing funnel. All right. So on here, we're saying Facebook advertising is all about building long-term audiences. So we want to start. I say start because most people get paralysis of analysis and they never start. They don't build the first Facebook ad, or they get into it and they're like, it's technical and stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. Rich people learn hard stuff.
Let's look at some of the poll.
The poll here. Yeah. I want to know here.
So we did the poll, in the poll. I think everybody's probably.
Most of them are on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So share the results now.
Okay. We're going to share results here. All right. So, are you using running Facebook ads? We wrote that wrong.
Using/running Facebook.
Are you using/running Facebook ads? 37% said yes. 63% said no. And I'm assuming if you're on here, the 63% that said no have considered it and they just haven't started. So A, start, right? I'm going to pull this to the side for a minute. So B, design campaign directed at creating something from nothing. So your first campaign is creating something from nothing because you don't have an audience. So you're using Facebook's audience. You're saying, Facebook, give me your people. And you can target, or you can say, I want people in this age range. I want people in this state. I want people in this county, all that kind of stuff. But you're creating something from nothing. But then C, I'm going to design campaigns directed at cultivating from your newfound something. So that's where retargeting comes in. Write in the chat if you have heard of retargeting. Let's see here. So I'm going to stop sharing this now.
What was the last one?
How many ads have you set up yourself?
So 39% 0, 39% less than 5.
So 4% says 30 plus. Nice. All right. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that real quick. Boom. Thank you guys for filling out the poll, by the way. A lot of people participated. It's great. Campaign design, just like I said, we're trying to cultivate something from nothing. We got to get started to do so, and then we're trying to retarget something. Let's see here. All right. So getting back into just simple original Facebook video ad campaign, right? This is let's say my flow chart for generating something from nothing. I'm creating an ad with a targeted audience. Let's say my targeting audience is 64 plus in Mississippi, and I'm just doing completely general. And I say that, however many people there are on there, there's a million people. I don't know, probably 500,000, 400,000, 500,000. I'm creating that ad, creating with a targeted audience, and then I'm having one objective. My objective in the ad is a lead ad. I want it to convert into data that we can then try to work in the interim, right? But at this point, this is going to be the lowest quality traffic you can get. So really, the secondary initiative is to use data from the ad to create multiple audiences that get warmer and warmer. So did they click or view 50% of the video? So did they click the button in the ad? Yes or did they view 50% of the video? So if they clicked it or viewed, now I'm coming down to my flow chart and saying, okay, did they click? Because now I want to separate them. Because if they didn't click or view at least 50%, I'm just keeping them in the ad set because I'm still trying to move them into that portion of the audience. Now, if you look a little bit further down, did they click? Yes. Okay. Well, I want my user. I'm trying to see here. User sent to content that I'm sending them to. Either I'm sending them to just a lead ad objective, or maybe I'm just really trying to warm them up. So I'm sending them to a blog post, or I'm sending them to, somewhere on a web page for a resource to download, whatever. At this point in this lesson, that objective doesn't matter because I'm trying to add that user to a custom, and this I actually messed up on this flowchart here. Add the part on yes, if they clicked, I want to add them to a custom clicker campaign. So I want them to be someone who does click. It doesn't matter if they converted, as long as they clicked. If they went to my blog post, if they went to my landing page, if they just clicked the lead ad and it popped up, whether they converted or not, I wanted them to be added to my clicker audience. Over here, I want to be added to my video viewer audience because this means they viewed 50% of the video, but they didn't click. So I'm automatically taking something from nothing, creating two separate audiences from it. So then my next two.
But the key is you're creating different data points, right? Like I'm creating different buckets of people to retarget to based on their actions that they took or they didn't take. And so these are all just data points, right? So did they click or view 50% of it? That's just a data point that I can then separate down into smaller buckets of people. And then we're going to retarget these groups of people again, based on their actions that they did or did not take.
Right. Yeah. So that's the whole point of Facebook advertising for me, is creating over a long period of time buckets of people that I can retarget in different ways. And the more data I get, the more I can segment those audiences into more and more uniquely, to more and more unique audiences, so that I can target them, more and more efficiently.
And I have to have data. And so we're starting here with no data, right? I'm just saying that I'm brand new. I'm just going to start this Facebook thing. I'm going into it and I have no data. I don't have 500 clients on the books that I can throw a custom audience and create a lookalike audience. So I'm creating people that are at least showing a little bit of interest in what I'm saying or what I'm posting and the things that I'm doing. And once they've showed a little bit of interest, now I know that if I put a little bit more effort and get in front of them a few more times, that they could potentially click, because it's already somebody that is active on the platform.
Yeah. Just remember, if I go back here, when they're viewing a video and not clicking, maybe they're in this 50 or 25% mark, right? They're in the pipeline coming around the bend to the 3%. If they are, viewing and clicking, but not converting, they might be in the 22. They might be in the upper part of this 25, right? It's all that.
They'll be in the 3%, but when? And we've got to capture them when they get there.
Yeah.
We've got to force them to that 3%.
If you keep staying in their face, you basically become increasingly more relevant. They don't think he's only showing videos on Facebook. They're thinking, every time I get on Facebook, I'm seeing this guy. He must be all over the place. Because most people, especially in the Medicare market, one of our advantages, they don't really understand. Most of them don't understand, retargeting and how hyper focused you can get that. Okay. So in the Facebook video viewer retargeting. So let's say I took that campaign or that audience that I've built, and I'm going to show you guys some of this in a minute. I'm going to take that audience that I rebuilt or that I built from scratch, and it's the video viewer audience. And I'm going to retarget them with another ad. And I like to reference in that ad, and this may have happened to you before, that they watched our videos, but they didn't take any action. Because I know they didn't take any action because I've created the audience based off of people that watched the video, but did not take any action. And Facebook allows you to do that. So and now in this one, I still have the same question. Did they click or view 50% of the video? No, keep an ad set, keep marketing to them. Did they watch 50% of the video or click again? Yes. Okay. Did they click? So see, I'm trying to take my video viewers and push more of them into my clicker audience, which I feel like is further down the pipeline. Then I'm taking my no's here and I'm putting them into another video viewer campaign. What I like to do is think this is further down the cycle. They're watching 50% of multiple different videos that I'm putting out. So I want to be inundating the hell out of those people, right? Now, here's my Facebook clicker retargeting, slightly more simple. Video ad, asking them why they didn't finish the form, not in an aggressive way, just a nice way. Did they convert? Yes or no? No, keep an ad set. Yes. Boom, they exit. What does that say? Removes that section. So at that point, I'm removing them from my video view retargeting, and I'm keeping them in removing from my clicker, and now they're a client or a prospect. Did they convert or a lead, but they're in a different funnel now. Now they're not stopping being automated to, but I'm removing them from where I would be targeting them on Facebook. It's possible that they go back in there eventually into a different campaign. But in this pipeline, I'm removing them once they've converted. Okay. Because it gets a little annoying when you bought something and you still get advertised. And it does happen because sometimes IPs and emails and people have different profiles and different data, and it can still happen. But now, next part we're going to talk about is test. Okay. So all this stuff requires intense testing. And it's interesting how so many people just want to throw up one Facebook ad and like print money off of it. Because there's no marketing, that works that way other than direct mail. If you're like knocking on the doors, but people are like, I don't want to knock on doors anymore. Okay. Take the knocking on the door element out of it. Marketing is different. There's a much higher volume play to get people to actually want to do business with you, rather than, Jehovah's Witnessing them at the door, knocking on it and getting in and making them feel bad for turning you away. And then they feed you a meal and then they say, fine, I'll let you change my meds up because we just had dinner together. It's a very time consuming sales process. But in Facebook ads, in general advertising, and in especially digital advertising, you have to test. Now, when we test, there's a way to test. Okay. Is my ad not working? I need to find the culprit. What is the culprit to my ad not working? A lot of people think, oh, the picture's bad. That's the first thing. It's actually it's the least likely thing to be wrong, in my opinion, is the creative. And that's why I have it at the bottom of this sheet. You want to start on bidding. So if I'm bidding, and I'm going to enter here, is my CPL right here on this black at the top, is my cost per lead close to my bid price? If my cost per lead is close to my bid price, then I need to increase my bid, unless I'm not willing to do that. But typically your bid price is just too low. If my cost per lead is not close to it, it's lower, much lower. And then you say, is your bid close to your daily budget? So are you putting your bid somewhere where, you're capping out your daily budget too quickly?
$20 and $25 daily budget.
Right. Because now, like, okay, I bid, I got a lead, but now Facebook just stops testing because they don't want to piss you off on your daily budget. Right. So you have to have enough margin in there to test. So if somebody's a week in and they're like, yeah, I don't really know how well it's doing. I've only gotten 7 leads. Well, you haven't even given it the room to, or let's say you're use that example, $20 bid for what I want to pay for a lead, right? $25 daily budget. And then 7 days in, they're like, only got 2 leads. You haven't really even given Facebook enough room to run with your budget, right? So you have to have a little bit. So right here, you say, is your bid close to daily budget? I need to increase my daily budget. Is it not? Right. So now I'm going back down my culprit finding ladder. Do you have at least 15 daily conversions? And this number 15 is general. Like, you can use any number you want here, depending on where you're at. For us on an ad, like when I'm starting testing it, I'm running at a slightly higher budget. And based on the lead cost I'm looking at, I want 15 daily conversions. I'm going to wait a week before I even look at this. Right. And then if I say I don't have 15 daily conversions, then I look at switch bid type or optimization. So then I can switch over to some different concepts in how I'm bidding. And then if I do have 15 daily conversions, if bidding right here, it says bidding for website conversions is your audience over 1 million people. So I'm looking at, am I doing a landing page conversion campaign? Is my audience over 1 million, right? If it's not over 1 million, then maybe I need to increase my audience size or shift optimization to a higher funnel action, like reach or frequency. If I get into, and I know some of this is technical, right? But if you say yes, my bidding for my website conversion, and I'm bidding for a website conversion, and my audience is over 1 million, then I'm going to look at my targeting. Does your audience among ad sets overlap heavily? So do I have multiple, should be do your audiences among ad sets. If I have multiple ad sets, are my audiences overlapping in different ad sets? Because then, you could be over targeting the same group of people. So this chart right here is all about finding, and you do get down to the creative at some point. You're looking at 20% text. You're looking at, at some point, if it's not converting at the rate that you need it to, it can be the creative, and then if none of this is wrong, maybe your offer sucks. Maybe nobody's interested in it. Okay. So boom, let's go over here. Now I'm going to get into just some general stuff. If somebody's since there's a lot of people that have never run a Facebook ad, this will be helpful. When you go into your Meta business suite at business.facebook.com and you're running ads, now you're going to click all tools right here. It'll expand and you'll be able to click these three things. We're going to live in these three things right now. Ads manager. So don't click ads above that. Click ads manager, audiences, and events manager. I'm not even going to talk about events manager today, but it is very important, especially if you get into landing page conversions and you're sending people to other websites and you want to track what they're doing on that website. But if you're running lead ads, you really can stay right here, ads manager and audiences. Okay. Ads manager and audiences.
In the instant forms.
In the instant forms. Yep.
But just a one time.
Yep. And you can, in the ads manager, when you're building, you can build the instant form out while you're in the ad creation. So if I go over here, I'm going to go to audiences first, just because I want to show you that you have custom audience creation potential. And this is what I'm talking about when you're creating these custom audiences. You want to create, I can't remember if I did when you pop up to custom audiences, you're wanting to create from meta sources. This is in lead ads. You want to create a video viewer and a lead form. That's where you're clicking your clicker and your video retargeting. This is the most simple, basic one to get started on, in my opinion, is using video ads. And these videos do not have to be impressive, guys. These videos can just be you in front of your cell phone. I've started one with agents that I showed how to do it and pop one up, and they made the video while we were talking about it and threw it up and had leads coming in that they were converting, and on the first ad even. But when you start retargeting and building out that bigger and bigger audience, you become a celebrity to these people. So video and lead form audiences. When you do videos, you're looking at, you can do, I'm not highlighting that people, the 33 seconds. I wouldn't use that one. I'd go down here to people who have watched at 50% of your video. And this will depend on how long the video is too. If you do a 15-second video, 7.5 seconds is not enough to know. So when this gets into why would someone have a longer video, or what video link should you look at? It should be long enough to where 50% is worth retargeting. So is that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? It doesn't matter. If you do more than 5 minutes in a video, then you might be looking at, I just want 25%.
Yeah. I would say the goal there is 3 to 5 minute video and 50%. So you're looking at somebody who watched at least 2 to 3 minutes of you talking, right?
Yeah.
Like you're probably they're going to remember you if they watch 2 or 3 minutes of you.
Right. Yeah. Short of that, I would say definitely under 90 seconds of video view time for them is bad. So definitely 3 minutes is the minimum, right? So we go next one. So that is going to be where you'd create a video viewer audience. So right here, this would be how you create a lead from that audience. Anyone who this is the clicker audience. Anyone who opened this form is all I'm looking at. On what page, and you can select your individual lead forms. You can talk about retention. How long do I want this person to remain in my ad set? 90 days. Okay. That's where we keep it at. You can keep that up. You can keep it 365 days if you want to. So let's see. How long is too long? Probably longer than 5 minutes. Starts getting into too long, depending on what you're talking about and how riveting you are. So no, I wouldn't say there is a too long, but I would keep it in the 3 to 5 minute range for most people.
There's not a too long, because if you get people that watch 75 to 100% of a 10-minute video, like them are high quality prospects, right? Like I would put them in a much higher intent bucket. Yeah.
And that goes to say too, you could create multiple audiences for video viewers. You could have two audiences, one that did 50% of your video and one that did 75, and then retarget them differently if you want to, but that would get a little bit more intense. So let's go through here to leads. This is just a new campaign setup. So in this screenshot, we're in Ads Manager. We're setting up a brand new campaign. Our objective is leads. Okay. We're looking at here, like I'm just naming campaign. I'm just showing you guys this for some basic setup. Once you click that, it would come over here to this new campaign setup. I'm talking about a Medigap ads is what I'm naming this. And just you can do Medicare Advantage. You can name your campaign whatever you want to. I like my campaign objective to not interfere with your ad set and your ad objectives. Ad set is about targeting. It's about the audience. The ad portion up here, if you look up, when I'm talking about this, go up to the left corner if you don't know. Medigap ads would be where your ad campaign is. The next one down is your ad sets, new leads ad set. And then the next one down is new leads ad. Okay. the top part is your overall campaign. Okay, I want to target Medigap. I want to target Medicare supplements, right? That's my campaign. My ad sets is my audiences. It's my who and where, right? So I'm looking at who and where in my ad set. So if you go forward a little bit, I'll rename those accordingly. But right here, I'm just showing that we're keeping all this pretty much default. And then when you go into daily budget, of course, you can change your daily budget to whatever you want. We would start them at no less than $50 a day. If you're watching a video, even one that I have out there that says Facebook leads for $5 a day, doesn't work anymore. I'm going to leave the video up there because it gets viewers, to be honest, to Frank. But it doesn't work anymore. You got to start at $50 a day, in my opinion. So going down here, as you can see, I changed this on the ad set to Mississippi 64 plus. I'm clicking instant forms as my conversion type. Checking my page. If I go down here to ad sets, I'm selecting Mississippi. You can change this to anywhere in the world right here. You can even start getting it down into certain zip codes and smaller areas. But we like statewide campaigns right now for the time being. That can change over time. Then we change age 64 to 65 plus. You cannot specifically target ages over 65.
It's like Facebook knew that we were going to use it.
Yeah. So 64, if you're doing T65 ads, most people have success with just saying, I want to target 64-year-olds in general. Going down a little bit further here, when we run ads to Medicare consumers, we do Facebook feed only. Now, I know there might be some people that run them in different areas. We go down to just Facebook feed. Okay. I think this is where a lot of people get hung up, is they're trying to show it everywhere and it's not converting at the same rate. So even though we want to build audiences, we want conversion now too, because we want the ad set to pay for itself. Okay. So now getting into a little bit of the automation side on the back end. Look, that's a very brief, high level viewpoint of Facebook ads. There's a ton of stuff you can do in that platform, and just go back to that instant portion of the platform when you come into it, just so you can see it again. There's so much stuff in here, guys. Like before you even get to all, tools, you got a lot of different things. If you're new to it, if you're not new to it, there's some more advanced concepts we'll try to talk about on the automation side here in a second. But if you're new to it, try to master one thing before you move on. Video views, lead ads do work. So if you can't get them to work and to actually convert at all, I wouldn't even it's better if early on you don't worry about the lead cost. If you're like, so-and-so put up a screenshot on Facebook and he gets $3 leads and mine were $14, so I shut it down. That's stupid. You you need to find out, can I convert a lead from this? Okay. So let's go through.
Well, and then it gets back to testing. I mean, you're going to do a lot of testing before you kind of find a formula that's working for you. And even then you're going to always test against it. And it may be the one that's, withstands the test of time. And there's a lot of times where we do these tests and it's almost the same ads. There's a small little differences, but then the same one keeps winning and winning and winning and winning. So you just let it ride, but you're always going to test it. I'm never going to be happy with it and just be like, okay, I think it's the best it could possibly be. No, like we're going to put a variation out there and see, okay, would this convert better? So it's always testing. And again, it's just getting down to honing in on your target market and then targeting them as effectively as possible. And how do you find out if it's effective? Just keep testing.
Yep. And when we get into automation, it's important to know that lower quality leads can be automated into higher quality leads or higher quality prospects, because
I think this is where a lot of people, what are you doing with the lead after you generate the lead on Facebook, right? So you've got in front of their face. They've made the decision. Okay, I'm going to fill out this form. I'm going to give this guy my information. So what's happening on the backside of that, right? Like, are you picking up the phone and you calling them directly? What we like to do is send them through a little bit more automation, right? I'm going to weed out the people that respond to ads and will not respond to me actually calling them, or, and we've all been there. We've all ran leads or called somebody, had leads generated. And then the people, oh, I don't need any help. I didn't mean to click that. I didn't know what I was doing, right? Like, we've all ran into that. And so you can either waste your time calling all the people that have filled out lead forms that aren't going to want to let you help them, or we can send them through some automation and prime them a little bit more, get them to another, turn them into a hot lead, right? Like right now, at this point, they're a warm lead because they filled out a lead form, but I want to turn them into a hot lead. So we're going to send them into a platform. We use GoGuru. GoGuru is a very powerful platform that allows you to nurture these leads. And I think that's the biggest thing behind it, is the ability to trigger off text messages, emails, ringless voicemails, and things of that nature, all just by a single trigger of them filling out the lead form. And so this is a screenshot of, go to the next one.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, like, Facebook can be cumbersome to get into and get going. But even if you're buying leads, you can have them dumped into here and automate them to Prosperity, because all leads, not all leads, but a lot of leads out there are lower quality. But when you can dump them into something that increases the quality, that's a huge help.
I'm sorry. Okay, go right back. So in this, what we're looking at is just like an MA lead where we're sending them an immediate text message as soon as they fill out a lead form on Facebook. And the idea there is to get them to respond. And we want them to respond to 2 different messages. As soon as they respond to 2 different messages, now I'm getting that lead on the phone with an agent as soon as possible. And I'm going to have that agent call them as soon as possible, because I've pre-qualified them in a way, right? I've asked them a set of questions where they've responded to it in a way that gave me more information. And now the agent knows before they even pick up the phone and call that lead, whether they can even get the plan that we're trying to get them on. And he knows as soon as he gets this notification, I need to call them, because this is somebody that's already been primed. They've been through automation. They've been through the lead forms. They've been through the retargeting, and now they are ready to go. I need to convert. And so, it's a lot of conditional things. And so if you've ever done anything, with the computer is very logical condition based. If this, then that, right? So if this happens, then do that. And that's what you're looking at here. So we're seeing trees break off here, but it's just conditions saying, did they respond yes, or did they respond no? Did they tell me they were already on Medicare? Did they tell me they were not on Medicare? Did they tell me their income was this, or did they tell me their drugs were this, over this cost, and so on, right? Like, I can ask them a numerous amount of questions that would give me the information I need without them even realizing that they're giving me valuable information, that I'm qualifying them or disqualifying them for these plans that they're asking for. Because again, you guys know people fill out leads with pipe dreams, right? That's what Johnny says. It was a pipe dreamer, someone wanting to get 170 back on their Social Security check, but they make, $150,000 a year. And, like them type of people, right? Like there's people with pipe dreams, but not that it's a bad lead. Like Justin was saying, if you send that lead through enough automation, you can turn it into a good lead. And the automation is just real general, just asking them questions to get them to engage. So if you go to that next slide, it's kind of an idea of the conversation that's going on here. So in this one, I think this conversation is a veteran lead here, and we're the first question that goes out to the veteran is, what service did you?
Yeah, even on our side, it's a little small, guys. So it was part of the slideshow. These images and things are available in other formats that are high definition, but basically you're looking at a veteran lead. So this is somebody we're targeting for their veteran status. For veterans benefits or additional benefits that veterans may qualify for. As you may know, like most Medicare Advantage plans, have something targeted at veterans where they increase benefits since they don't have to pay for the drug cost if they're using the VA for prescriptions.
But again, that usually gets them talking, and it's something that's very disarming. It's not, hey, I'm here to help you with your Medicare. What's your Medicare number, right? It's hey, thank you for responding. Which branch did you serve in? And, veterans always want to let you know that what branch they were in. And then our follow-up question to that is, do you have Medicare A and B? And so now I already know, based on them couple of answers, whether I can sell them the plan that we're trying to sell them, or whether they have an SEP in the middle of the year, and so on, right? So I'm just kind of pre-qualifying them. So we asked them a few questions, but once they get to that bottom, we're getting them with an agent. You can see an agent reached out to the GoGuru system, recorded the call.
Yeah. So a lot of this is a really cool because, call recording is kind of a hot topic right now, and GoGuru will record the calls, puts them right there in the thing. You can actually download it and attach it to the client's file, in the spot that says call recording. So, but yeah, like he's talking about early on, the first parts of these automations are designed to just ask very small questions like, what branch do you serve in? It's to get them talking so that we can identify which ones of these leads are the highest quality and focus our efforts on those.
And again, you set up the automation in a way that they don't even realize it's an automation. Like we work in wait time. So if someone replies, like it's a 3 or 4 minute wait before we reply back. We don't just hit them straight back with the text message. We want it to seem authentic and seem real. And again, just by asking these simple questions, it doesn't alert them to, hey, this is a bot texting me or something like that. So that doesn't turn them off, but it gets them to respond.
Yeah. And so you're allowing automation to build these relationships for you. If I look at this workflow here, just these are workflows and you build them literally. Like this isn't just a flow chart that we built to look pretty. This is within GoGuru. It's telling the different pipelines exactly what to do with lead data based on if this then. Okay. If then statements. I don't know if anybody remembers that from math in high school, but if then statement, if this happens, then do this. If this doesn't happen, then do this. If this happens, then do this. If you can see it just trail down and continue. And once it gets into a pipeline, these are all automated things that happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we've got some really big ones, but I didn't want to overwhelm you too much. So we were trying to just look at some very basic ones so you can get the idea that, this can branch off and cover that whole screen, and we have them. But again, just wanted to get you the idea that, the system will allow you to build, like he was saying, if then statements and logical conditions based on if a contact got updated this way. And so at the top, you have, 3 or 4 different triggers that are getting people into this pipeline. The main one being like a Facebook lead form was filled out. And the whole goal of what this workflow is right here is for them to book a follow-up call or appointment themselves.
Yeah, there's not anything new, Michelle. You've always needed, like when I started off on Facebook, I did not have anything automating it. But what's happening is things are changing over time to where you have to do more to earn business because other people figure things out. There's only so many people in the world. Okay. There's a lot of them. So here, this is the thing about marketing. It's first knowing there's a shitload of people in the world. It's second knowing that's a limited, shitload. Okay. And when everyone knows how to reach them a certain way, so by the time everyone learns practice A, then marketers ruin that practice by pushing out so much attention through that one medium, right? So, give you an example, TV ads in Medicare. I mean, how many damn celebrity TV ads are there going to be, right? Well, marketers figured out that it worked, and now they've pushed it to its limits, in my opinion.
Yep.
And so the same thing happens with Facebook. If you and it doesn't matter what tool. So you're saying like outbound engine. I tried blah, 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 blah. Whatever you're using, you have to learn, even if it's built out, you have to learn how to use it. Outbound engine, I don't even think I think it's just a basic tool. You'd have to like figure out. I've never used it, so I don't know anything about it really. But when you have, a tool, even if we build out everything in there, it's very helpful if you go and utilize that tool enough to where you understand how to use it. And you need a tool that evolves over time, that doesn't just have one concept. GoGuru isn't one tool that just does Facebook ads automation. GoGuru is an entire CRM that can automate things. It can replace your CRM. It can replace all of your email server, like MailChimps and Constant Contact. It'll send invoices for you. It does all kinds of stuff. So it's not one thing. It's replacing many systems.
But yeah, that's true. Marketers ruin everything. I mean, because it's exploited, right? Again, once you figure out it works, everybody wants to do it. Everybody's going to put their money there. Everybody's going to start doing it. And so you have to continue to evolve and keep up with the newest thing that's actually working. Because there is a continuous involvement. And someone asked, is this all in the platform? Yes, this is all in the GoGuru platform by default. We're constantly building new workflows that we're using. Anytime we build new workflows, I push them out to all the accounts that are out there. So anytime we build something for ourselves, I'm just pushing it out to everybody. So you guys all get the advantage of using some of that, but it's up to you to plug into it. I mean, we're giving you the platform for $97, but we're not building everything for you. I mean, think about if you go buy MailChimp, right? You go buy MailChimp to send out emails. MailChimp's not designing every email for you and sending them all out. You still have to go on the platform and utilize it. You're just getting access to the platform for $97. So, $97 a month will get you access to the GoGuru platform. We will do onboarding calls with you. We have Will and myself dedicated to helping you use the system. We do weekly calls every Tuesday at 10:30. It's about an hour and a half long call where we'll build automations together. We usually have about 20 to 25 people on each call. These calls get recorded and then posted inside of the GoGuru platform for you to go back and review if you couldn't make the call on Tuesday. But we're constantly building these automations, and we encourage people to jump on them calls with automations that you want to see for yourself, and we'll build them on the calls together, and then we'll push it out to everybody. So you actually get some of your automations built from us, but then at the same time, everybody else can benefit from that. And so them calls every Tuesday have been really powerful. It's been adding a lot to the system. And again, we're continuing to add a lot to the system just within the last week. We've made significant upgrades to the look of it. I've been messing around with some I call it the bells and whistles, right? Some stuff that people probably don't even notice, but if I know it's big because it was necessary that we made these changes because we were having some functionality issues with like just the way it looked and giving you more space and not having everything so compact. So again, it's ever evolving platform that we're continuing to pour into. And we have these resources available for you. It's because it's what we're using in our practice ourselves. It's not something that we're just telling you about. It's something that we're actively using day in and day out.
Absolutely. You guys can head over to justinbrock.com/GoGuru. We'd love to get you in there. Obviously, we're trying to put out some quality content related to Facebook ads. We'll be putting more and more in our university and out there about Facebook ads, getting more and more ingrained in the different campaigns and the different extents you can take it to. But on the back end of it, no matter how good the lead flow is, automation right now is what is squeezing out the sales. And I'd get on it quick because, to be honest, everything that you do in marketing eventually loses its pizzazz and you have to find the next thing. But right now we are in the automation phase, not the AI phase. When people talk about AI right now in marketing, they're just talking about automation. Automation is not AI. AI is some, foreign concept that maybe does work. But honestly, we're talking about legitimate automation and having computers communicate for you thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, as many as you want, communications going out on your behalf at pennies on the penny in cost to, have you be able to spend all your time talking to people that want to buy shit from you. And the only way to do that right now is automation, unless, you've been around for a long, long time and people just keep calling you up, but very hard to get to that point. And even at that point, I talk to those people and they want to scale. And how do they do it? Automation. So justinbrock.com/GoGuru. When you get over there, we'd love for you to buy and sign up. We do weekly calls like this, explaining different uses of GoGuru. Stephen and Will get on here every week and they go over this kind of stuff. The weekly calls are awesome. We have weekly calls in our university too, the one at goguru.university, but that's more of a sales and different concept where we get on and just talk about our wins and what we're doing. In the GoGuru Pro calls on Tuesday every week, those are, way different, but you can also go on there and schedule a demo. But we would rather you go ahead and sign up, get on the weekly calls and schedule, your in-doc call so we can get you set up. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. The system can do everything you want it to do. We don't want your money if it's not working for you. We just know it's going to work for you. So go ahead and go over there, justinbrock.com/GoGuru, and let's get you signed up and automating this stuff.
Let me answer that question. Do you need a contract through BBI to purchase GoGuru? No, you do not need a contract.
We have an FMO. We are an FMO, but we're not like the old tired heads, the old heads in the business. We are a service-based business. We want to do business with you regardless of whether you contract with us. I don't care if you ever contract with us. We still want to be friends and work with you and help you. And if you did want to contract with us, a whole different conversation. You can absolutely use GoGuru. We're not going to come in there and try to recruit you through GoGuru. We want you to be a SaaS software as a service client.
This brings up another point. We have lots of other agents that are using it. And so in the system, we have shortcut links, like we have shortcuts to our CSG and our Sunfire links. If you're using another FMO CSG or a Sunfire, we can put that in there for you and customize that link. So it's your portal that it's linking to and not necessarily our portal. So we can definitely customize that for you. Can it work on a Mac? Absolutely. I think it only works on a Mac. No, I'm just kidding. It works on all platforms. We just have 30 Macs in our office. So that's all we use is Mac. But yes, absolutely works on a Mac.
It will work on old crappy Windows PCs as well, Emily. Don't worry.
Emily, she can attest to that. She uses one of them old Windows.
Those old Windows that guy Bill Gates designed back in the 70s.
Yeah.
We got us a piece. We got us one of those PC fans over here. No, we can, it doesn't matter what platform. It's all web-based. So you can use it. I mean, if your computer is sophisticated enough to get into this new thing they call the internet, then you can use it.
It'll even work on your smartphone. There is an app you can download and access everything from your smartphone as well. So
perfect. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let us know. The recording will go out. So appreciate you guys that are on here to the end, and we'll send this stuff out there. Hopefully, if you need any resources that we talked about, a lot of this stuff is in PDF format, so we can send it to you. So hopefully it helps, and we'll talk to you all soon.